everybody. How many people here can say that they forget sometimes, or they get really caught up in what they're doing, which causes them to forget or not do what they plan on doing? I wanted from start to finish to show y'all exactly how I was going to do this Beatrix Potter Peter Rabbit book, and I have not done that. I know in my last video I sort of kind of gave y'all a breakdown of the inside, but not like I wanted. So guess what? I am just going to make another one. This seems to be wildly popular. People are asking when I'm going to release it. You know, so I'll make 2 to sell, or I'll sell 1 and I will keep 1. Either way, I want y'all to be a part of it, step by step by step by step by step, so that y'all can see what I do to get my final product. Now, I am going to do this one a little bit different than I did this one because, you know, you got to, or I have to anyway. But I do want y'all to see my process and to be a part of that. And this is supposed to be tied. It's not tied at the moment because I was looking at something. So at first I thought, okay, you know, I'm not going to use a photo album with this one. I'm going to use a really small book. And as I was printing out my pages, I changed my mind like I so often do. So what to do? I've got my photo album here. We are definitely going to go with this. However, my Beatrix Potter Peter Rabbit that I printed out are now too small for my liking for this size book. But no big deal, I can fix it. In all of my journals, for those of y'all that have my journals, you know that pages can vary in size. In some journals, they're all the same size, and in some, there's small ones, there's big ones, there's really small ones, and so forth and so on, and, you know, that's the way I wanted it. I did not want every single Beatrix Potter Peter Rabbit image to be super small. So, what I'm going to do is, you could cut them out, washi tape them together, go with that, or washi tape and sew, or sew and go with that, but I wanted to do something a little bit different. So what I've done is I printed out papers from my Blue. Is it called Blue in Etsy? These are on my Etsy shop, digital images, and it's Blue or Blue something. But anyway, I printed out some of these. I just love this print. I could eat it off a spoon. And we've got this print. I didn't print out my whole entire blue folder because I also want to use some coffee dyed paper as well. And this one. And that one, I just love the colors and that, especially for Peter Rabbit. Love it, love it. And then I have my Peter Rabbit images. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut these down to size this way. That way they will be folded and put as signatures and set into the book, okay? So after I get done cutting these down to size, I'm going to cut these, oops, sorry y'all. I'm going to cut these out and sew them onto these pages. That way these have a gorgeous frame of background and they're still in there and there's still room for writing. If not on the fronts, though there is plenty of room for writing on the fronts of a lot of them, definitely on the backs, and it will be beautiful. And I'm also going to put some of them on coffee dyed pages, and it's on some other various pages that I have as well. I do, personal thing, like for that to be mixed up. Why am I telling y'all of this instead of showing y'all? Because my sewing machine, for one, y'all don't want to hear it or see it, I'm sure, but it's all the way over there and I'd have to do a totally different camera setup. So I am going to go off of camera and get these things sewn on And maybe y'all can have a better understanding of what I'm talking about if you don't right now. And I'll be back in a little while. All right, I'm back and I've got my signatures ready to go. I did want to, this, by the way, is the one that I was already working on. So I'm doing another one so that I can show y'all the process. Let me put that aside. But I want to show y'all my signatures and what I decided to do with them, so that y'all can understand what I was talking about. So here's the paper, and then I sewed the pretty prints on them. Got some ruffles already sewed on. If you're going to do ruffles, fabrics, things like that, in my opinion, it's better if you sew them beforehand. This sewed onto this paper. So there's just a bunch like that. Another ruffle sewed on. I don't always sew my lace on beforehand, though it really just depends. But I do if I'm going to do a ruffle that I haven't already sewed. And sometimes I sew my ruffles in advance and glue them on. You can do that too. But if you don't sew them in advance, look at that beautiful print. Oh, I love it. You can find it on my Etsy shop. Another one sewn on. If you don't do it in advance, it just makes it a lot more difficult. It just really does. To me, that's just one of those things that is almost a must. If you don't sew it on, I would really recommend sewing the ruffle by itself and then gluing it on later. So those are my signatures. I want to show y'all what I did here. We are working on a photo book from the dollar store. It has a little place for a photo, and you know, I had considered using that place and then decorating all around it. Absolutely an option, and I may do something like that later down the line. But in this situation, in this, let me show y'all, is a photo book as well. I wanted this to pop, to stand up more, to be a little bit more 3D. So I covered it up and did it a little bit different. I just cut out some file folder pieces and didn't measure anything like that. It's just approximate. Glued them together and stuck it right there, just so that when I am working, I don't have this big dip right there. It's not perfect, but it works. So now we have to take out the middle. Let me get my razor here. Don't fall down on me there, glue. Okay, I think I might have a little summer cold going on as of last night. This is also how I take my books apart, but I'm a lot more careful. That books are glued in a little bit more different. I'm thinking I'm needing a new razor blade because this one isn't so sharp. I've got a few, but I don't feel like hunting right now. Hunting, like, I mean, I know where they are, not a big deal. Be a lot more careful than this, y'all, if you want to keep your photo pages. And I do have a set of them, and I do use them sometimes, but I have a bit already, so these will be just going in the trash. There we go. That makes life a lot easier. Slowly prying that up. Putting some pressure, I don't want to slice me. Oh, looky there. And y'all do not want to tear that whole entire area, and then you ruined your spine. So just be careful with that. Be a little bit delicate while getting that up. All right, now I can't find my cap. I'll find that in a second. All right, so I went ahead and pre-measured the spine. And yes, I do it in different steps, a 3-step process. I do not put anything all the way across. I do not put one thing all the way across, because when you close it, you're going to have areas that bulge and pop up. And yes, that can be fixed. I've done it. It's not a huge deal. I just think doing it this way just lends more of a cleaner look, and it's easier. So I'm going to glue that in. Well, my hot glue gun needs to be charged, so we will use some tacky glue. It already has a little bit of glue on it. That's handy. And this is not just regular paper. This is a little bit more weighted. It's not as weighty as cardstock. It's about like scrapbook paper. In fact, I think it might be scrapbook paper. Sorry about that. Hit the camera. I've asked my husband, my son, to trade GoPro cameras with me. His zooms, I think he said, or maybe he found out it didn't. I don't remember. But anyways, if it does, I want his because I am so tired of hitting that thing. Alright, y'all. I have already gone over the sewing in the signatures part, and this is the part where I sew in my signatures. Please hear me carefully. There are a ton of different ways to do this process that I'm showing y'all. I don't always do it the way that I'm showing y'all. In fact, with my other Peter Rabbit journal that I already did, this is not the process that I took. I took a little bit of a different route, did it a little bit differently. This just happens to be the way that I want to do this one this time. You'll find what works best for you, or maybe I can show you a little trick that you hadn't thought of that hopefully it helps. But we all have our own ways. I have several different. You just do what works for you. Anyway, I'm going to get off here for a few minutes while I put the signature in, and notice that I need to charge my camera so that I can show y'all more, and I will be right back. So what I have done since I was last recording is I got my signature sewn in, and yes, I did another cute little envelopes. I love that. Love it, love it. Got my signature sewn in, and I went ahead and cut my material and ironed it because I want it to look nice and fluffy and clean and, you know, iron. Yep. Alright, so I'm going to hot glue this on the outside to the outside of this photo album, and I'm trying to decide, you know what, I should go ahead and do that first. So let me go ahead and put the ties on. This is something that's a lot of times I will forget to do to the last moment, and then I have to pry up a little bit of the edges and glue it up underneath, tuck it and shove it. And like, why do I always forget that? Okay. Let me see what all y'all can see, if y'all can see what I'm doing. There we go. Now, when I'm gluing on the cover, I want to try to make sure that whatever glue I'm using, I don't make it too thick, because I don't want it to be bulky and stick up, and I want it to look nice and smooth. So I do think I'm going to use the hot glue, just because I know that the hot glue that I use is so super powerful, and it's not real likely that any of those edges are going to come up. Alright, got that down. Now I have to decide exactly where I'm going to put this. Am I going to glue it right to the edge? Am I going to let it hang over a little bit and tuck? Things are in the way, There we go. Okay. I think that let's see, actually, no, that needs to come up. But then that's crooked there. Why? This part down here, and I don't know if y'all can see it or not. Nope, y'all cannot see it very well. Cannot see what I'm doing. This part up underneath here is going to be trimmed off to the book. So I'm not concerning myself about that right now. I'm trying to line up exactly where I want this to go before I begin gluing. And just make sure that it's laying where I want it to lay. A little piece of hair there. There we go. All right, let me see. I'm gonna stand up so I can get a better look. I think that's about right there. Okay, I'm gonna start with the spine. And of course I moved the book, so that did not help me very much. That's aggravating. And I aggravate myself sometimes doing stuff because I didn't take that into consideration. Let me get it. I think I did. Yep, that looks good. Okay. Okay, I'll have to go back and I will do that. Let's go ahead and put that. Alright, you get over there on your charger. Okay. Alright, I don't know if y'all can see what I'm doing. Yep, y'all can. Okay. Just wanted to be sure. That hot glue meandered over to there, and that's not where I wanted it. So, I'm going to pull that off. Meandering hot glue. Okay. Let me start here. Get back over there. All right, let me line up the book. It's wanting to turn. There we go. All right, I'm just going to cut off that bottom fabric some. And it does not matter much about this because that skirt is going to be covering this. So the cut does not have to be perfect, which is good because mine is not. I am such a horrible fabric cutter. I really, really am. Cannot cut a straight line on fabric to save my life. Alright, so now what do I want to do with this excess hanging off? I do think I am going to tuck right here. I'm going to cut off to make room for the tie. And the rest, I do think I will just tuck just to give it a little bit of strength. I mean, I don't always do it. And it's not a big deal to me. It might be to a lot of people, but it's not to me. But sometimes I do. And I've got room to do it. So I'm just going to tuck over the top just a little. Of course, not right here. And I will glue that down in just a second. Right there, where the spine is, because my glue wandered, or the book wandered or something. And y'all, as far as y'all's cuts go, for me, that's just something that I have to go back and kind of fine tune if I'm not happy with how clean it looks. Because you do, you know, you want it to look as clean as absolutely possible, obviously. So I will just take my scissors and run along the edges until I'm happy and it looks really, really good and clean. Oops, sorry y'all. Hit the hit it. Hit the camera. You know, especially if y'all are going to sell your work. If you have any hopes of selling, sell it. Try, you know, do your best to sell it super clean. Take pride in what you're doing. I think. I don't want to buy something that looks sloppy and looks like the person hasn't taken any pride in it. I might, yeah, I think I'm going to do that. Cut that little ruffle right there. Trim that ruffle area in just a second. Just so it'll, my inside will lay a little bit, will lay flat. I don't want it not laying flat. Sorry. I say that an awful lot. Sorry I hit the camera. Sorry I hit the camera. Well, it's true. Anybody doing anything special this summer? We went to the beach. Come back a week ago today, actually, and it was not the vacation that we were hoping. We normally have such a nice time, and our son had a great time. He's never been to the beach before. He's he has lots of diagnoses, but one of those is myelomeningocele and spina bifida. So he has no feeling from the waist down, and so he's never been to the beach. It has always scared me. Milo kids and beach don't go very well together, and we've had our share of things at the lake, so you know the beach has always been a bit scary for us with him. Well, we took him and he had a blast, and we watched him like a hawk sitting in the sand in the surf to make sure that his legs and his feet remained. Make sure that y'all can see this. Yeah, okay. To make sure that his feet and his legs remained in good shape. And they did, and we were super proud. And we were walking from a restaurant to a car, and I noticed that the back of his heel, right above his heel, was bloody. I nearly lost my mind. Couldn't figure out how that could have happened because we had watched him like a hawk, and it was fine earlier when we gotten him out of the beach. I just couldn't understand. I just didn't get it. So I watched him walk for a little while, just bewildered. And y'all see I don't have enough fabric right there to go over. That's okay. And I noticed that he was, as he walked, he rubbed, he would carry his one foot behind the other leg because we had been dealing with a wound on that one foot, and we wouldn't allow him to walk on that because he was walking on top of his foot, ruining the foot. And I noticed that he was rubbing that one foot on the back of that leg, causing a rub wound. He is supposed to have surgery toward the end of summer, y'all, and he cannot have it unless he has gone without a wound for at least 6 weeks, or, you know, a healed wound or whatever, for at least 6 weeks. I was so horribly upset. I got right on treatment, and luckily it looks really good, but I was still just so upset. Then, before vacation, I noticed that one of my guinea pigs just was not acting right, and I watched her, and she was not going to the potty correctly, which can, if you know, for any of y'all that know, can kill a guinea pig. So I started her on medication that luckily I already had here, that her vet had prescribed one of my other pigs. Started her on that, started her on belly massages. Took her and one of her cage mates, so she, you know, wouldn't feel so anxious, to the beach, taking care of her. Medicine, belly massages, watching because it can be deadly. And she seemed like she was doing better. We were happy, we were good, we were eating. She was, you know, it was good, it was good. I think I'd caught it early enough. And this year we took our Chihuahua with us, and she hated the beach. So we would leave her at the house that we were renting while going various places she couldn't go, and the beach. And she is sassy. And one time we got back and I could not find her. She was gone. She wouldn't come. I was calling. She would not come. I was flipping out. She, you know, afraid that she had gotten out. What happened? It was just horrible. Finally, we found her. She had been hiding to punish us. She's done that before. So there was that. On Friday morning, wake up, go downstairs, and my guinea pig is lethargic and just laying there and won't come out for her food. So we had to drive. I called her vet here. They couldn't see her, but they recommended another vet. So I called them, and they were going to fit her in. So we had to drive 5 hours past our home to get to the vet because it was already so late, and sit in the car for an hour and a half in the heat waiting for them to get to us. Now this vet, I was so super impressed. They were so aggressive with my girl. I have never gotten the treatment and the aggressiveness to treat a sick guinea pig like these people did. I cannot recommend them enough. Highly impressed. Y'all see how I'm going around just kind of cleaning it up? Even though I said this bottom doesn't really matter, I still don't want it looking sloppy, and I don't want it look at all. I want it to look clean. So anyway, she was not in good shape. My guinea pig was not in a good shape, and so they, you know, gave me treatment, sent me home with shots and pain medication and all of that, and I was doing round the clock treatment, and she passed away Saturday night. I was devastated. Just Love that pig. And my son, I took him to the doctor yesterday, and the doctor treated me horribly for having even taken him to the beach, even though the beach is not what caused his wound. I was made to feel just horrible. Anyway, that was our vacation. All right, so I made these panels. This is chipboard. I went ahead and cut the fabric, glued it on, and this is going to be the inside of the journal here. I'm just going to glue these down. So that was our vacation. Not fun. I feel like I need a vacation from the vacation. Seriously, that was just... And my hot glue gun is not hot enough. I gotta let that heat up just a little bit before I glue this. But anyway, we are supposed to be going to Pigeon Forge, Gatlinburg area in Tennessee at the end of July. So hopefully that will go better. Normally we have great vacations. This was not. This was not. Not saying I didn't have some nice times. There were, but just, ugh. So what is everybody else doing this summer? Let me know down in the comments. I would really love to hear. I'm curious. I believe that the destinations that we normally hit Myrtle Beach every year, and we go to Pigeon Forge, Gatlinburg area quite a bit. Well, we go to the mountains quite a bit. We live in the foothills, basically, in the Greenville, Spartanburg area, upstate South Carolina. So we're in the mountains a lot, but we also go to the Pigeon Forge, Gatlinburg area a lot. And I'm telling y'all, it seems like these places are crazy crowded right now. It seems more crowded to me than it ever has. And maybe that's just because we haven't gone in a while, or other people haven't gone in a while because of COVID, so they're swarming there now. I don't know, but I'm not a crowd lover. I'll be honest, I'm not. And so I'm not liking that part of it either. I know other people are all about the crowds and the hustle and bustle. That is not me. So, you know, that could have been part of it too. Don't know. All right. Oh, that is cute. All right, let's do this one. My husband bought me this Ryobi hot glue gun, and I have to say it is the best glue gun I have ever had. This thing gets so hot, and it does its job. And he's been saying, you need to do a top 10 craft supplies video, and I really do, for no other reason, just, you know, to make him smile. He deserves it. All right, I'm gonna clean up this inside just a little bit, make it look a little bit fancier, a little bit cleaner. A little bit of lace right here. In case y'all have not noticed, I'm not a big measurer. Not that I can't measure, I can. My dad was a brick mason, should know how to measure very well. He made sure of that. But I'm telling y'all, I can't ever. I measure and then I cut and then it's not right, and I've got no clue why. None. Or I can't cut straight or whatever. Or I'm just lazy and just don't feel like it. Tappity, tappity, tappity. See, to me that just looks so much better than just leaving the lines. that. Just gives it that little something extra. Oh, we got a line of glue hanging there. And I've been out of work since, gosh, when was the last day? It's the end of April. And I don't go back till August the 17th. But I tell y'all, that is really sneaking up on me. I cannot believe what the date already is. And I don't know if my supervisor is done with my schedule or not, but so far I've got 4 classes. And I'm going to be traveling all over the place this semester, which I'm not looking forward to. But I will do it. I will do it. I love my job, and I love my supervisor, and she's never asked me to do a lot of traveling. I've done little bits here and there. But I'm mostly at Central Campus. I think so far I've only got 1 class at Central Campus this semester, and the rest is in different areas over the upstate. So, oh well. I'll tell you what would really make me happy. That's if I didn't have any 8 o'clock classes and they didn't start until 9:30. And the reason why is, y'all, I get up early anyway. I do. I already get up early. But having to be at work, dressed, ready, you know, by 8 o'clock, I feel it just doesn't leave me that time to work out, to Bible study, all of that. You know, I mean, there's stuff that I like to do in the morning that if I've got to be at work at 8 o'clock, that's just, you know, something's got to give. I can't get up at 4. I simply can't. I won't be able to function. So I get up around 5, and, you know, I have my coffee and my breakfast. So yeah, anyway, there you go. A little bit of complaining for y'all. Not that I'm complaining about my job. I'm not. Like I said, I love it. I do. And I've had that talk with her, and, you know, she feels the same way. She likes to go walking really early in the morning. She's got to be at work at 8 o'clock, usually. And that just doesn't leave her time to be able to do that. And I'm not even one of those that's makeup and hair obsessive. There's some days I'll go to work without makeup and my hair twisted in a messy bun. So it's not that. I did not do this on my other journal. You know, like I said, the 2 won't be exactly alike, and this is one of those things where it's going to be a little bit different. I put it here, and then the bottom needed it because I didn't tuck. And then I was like, kind of liking it, kind of liking it. Let's just wrap it around. Let's just go ahead and wrap it around. It'll be cute, and it is. And I've got glue strings, and I've been doing so much better with the glue strings. I found out if I'm patient and I tap for a second, no glue strings. But here I am with the glue strings. I hope that my camera's still recording. Yeah, it says it is. Okay. So I don't know how much of a charge it got. I charged it for as long as I was getting the things ready to show y'all, which wasn't real long. So y'all, this pokey stick, oh, I've got a bunch of pokey sticks, but this thing is a blister hot glue on my fingers squealing savor. It really, really, really is. All right, if y'all don't already have one, you can find them on my Etsy pages. I've seen a lot of pokey sticks. I wanted something a little bit different than what I'd seen, so that's what I did. I created some jewel tone peacock looking pokey sticks. I've got some boho inspired, shabby boho inspired pokey sticks. And I've got some I got a couple of Hello Kitty, Alice in Wonderland, just different ones. Y'all should go check them out and get you one. Get you several. I use, shoot, how many do I have for myself? 1, 2, 3, 4, I think, maybe 5 for myself. Several in my different glues as glue stoppers, you know, so my glue don't dry out. This one and another I use for saving my fingers from hot glue, tucking fabric material, holding it down for stuff to dry, sort of deal. So, yeah, I love them. And I also use one of these, whichever one doesn't have glue on it at the moment, for weeding for my Cricut, which is what I think that they were originally for. And that does come in super handy. And yes, I've got a Cricut weeder, but it's not nearly as pretty. Not nearly as fun to use. It's not pretty. And look at me not using my pokey tool that I've got right there. No, instead I'm burning my fingers. Oh boy. I'm getting glue all over them. Almost done with the inside, and we can move to the outside decorating. And I already know how I'm going to do it. It's going to be super similar to my other, and I've already got everything that I need. But I do need to let that dry for just a minute. So I am going to let this dry thoroughly so that when I close it, it doesn't stick to the pages and rip them. So I will be right back. Alright, I am back and ready to do the cover. I have already got the picture that I chose glued to a little square piece of scrapbook paper. I went ahead and cut that out a while ago. Now let me tell y'all, I did not choose the image willy-nilly, and I did not choose the square that it sat on willy-nilly. I went through a ton of images that I have. I definitely wanted something with Peter Rabbit on it, as I've got a bunch of Beatrix Potter characters. So I definitely knew I wanted that, so I narrowed that down until I found the one that I absolutely wanted. And then I went through a bunch of backgrounds, a bunch of different scrap papers that I had that I knew that would go with this gingham print here. But I wanted the one that seemed to fit the best. And, you know, just take your time. Take your time. And if I can just stress, put some stuff together, and if you like it, leave it that way. Leave it that way for a day, or, you know, at least a few hours. How many times have I thought I liked something and ended up taking it apart? So live with it for a little while before you commit, and go through different ones and try different things out before you commit. On the other hand, y'all know that Bible verse that love covers a multitude of sins? Well, in junk journals, lace covers a multitude of sins. You got to tear something apart. Do your best not to tear much, and then do some lace to cover up any places. Of course, thank goodness I love lace, and I use it all the time whether I've messed up or not. So it works out. And so far, I have not had to cover up any sins with either of my Beatrix Potter journals. Oh yeah, I like that. I do. That is so cute. That underlay of the daisy fabric lace, it just gives it that little something extra. It's just so sweet. So I'm going to put that down. And I didn't want something too, out there. I wanted it to be kind of subtle because, I want this and the gingham to be the star. It is so difficult working around this camera. I have got to come up with something different. Try my best not to hit it, and it's like I need 3 arms. I do. I hear my dog over there snoring like, yeah, right, Mama. I do, Habibi, I do. Alright, time to glue down the picture. Y'all, when y'all are using your hot glue on projects like this, absolutely get coverage, but try not to make it overly thick. Otherwise, you're going to have bulging areas, and it's just not going to look good and clean. So try to make thin but thorough lines with your glue gun. Alright, so let's frame this. And this is a little bit different than my other, so I'm just making sure. Let's see, I've got this. I do like that. Are these two the same? They are not. So, I kind of like this one at the top better than this one, I think. Let me have a look. Yeah, I do. I do. And I may or may not use the cream. I don't know. Let's see here. Will I use the cream? I think right now I'm not. I can always go back and add it and tuck it later if I change my mind. I think right now I'm just going to go with this. I am really, really liking it. I'm putting it on the outside of my frame so that I don't get any of the picture. The frame, like it's an actual frame. That kind of is. This is going to frame that, so yeah, it is. Okay. Now y'all, I did already, this is very similar to what I did with my other Peter Rabbit book. I will show y'all in a minute. So I did not have this laid out. I already pretty much knew what I was going to do, and I was very happy with it. Otherwise, I would have laid it out, and I would have, you know, given it a lot more thought than it seemed as though I gave it on camera. The only time that I won't sit there and mull it over for a while is if, you know, my heart does, you know, that skip, that, oh my goodness, yes, that is it, I love it. And yeah, I mean, that does, it happens. It does. But there's also been times where I thought I just absolutely love it, and I'm laying there in bed at night thinking about it. Yes, y'all, I think about this stuff at night, and I'm like, oh, I should have done this, or, you know, wish I would have done that instead. So even that doesn't work 100%. I just love Peter Rabbit. So cute. Let's see, maybe right there. I am thinking for my anniversary this year that I am either going to ask for, I don't know, I think I'm going to ask for a new camera. I know that this one is new, but I just cannot, working around this is not optimum, but I need for y'all to see what I'm doing. Look at that, y'all. Oh my goodness. That is so cute. So cute. There we go. I'm not done. You know, like I said, I will take y'all along on this whole journey, so y'all will get to see the laces that I put on the pages. Y'all will get to see the things that I put on the inside, and the ephemera and the embellishments and everything else. So, oh, that is just so adorable. What do y'all think? I love it. Well, let's get the other one and compare. Here's my first one. So cute. And here is my second one. So cute. Which one do y'all like the best? I love it. I love it. Now, one thing you see here that I did different is I put the rabbit picture down over the skirt. So this skirt, oh, and I have the lace here on the outside here, and I put it on the inside there. So this skirt does not appear as full as this skirt, since I put the picture in a different place. And I put the lace on the inside instead of the outside. And I honestly, looking at them, I don't know which one I like better. They are both adorable. All right, y'all, I will be back with another video on making the insides. See y'all later.